The real reason I'm telling you about my granddad is because he inspired a song, and unusually for me, it's one of the very few songs I've ever written that wasn't me trying to be funny. I've always written songs for comedy because I love the sound of laughter. It's the greatest sound in the world, especially if you're causing it. But after BGT, a wonderful thing happened. A lot of charities got in touch because they couldn't raise funds the way they usually could doing events or certainly people on the street. So they'd asked me, with my newfound exposure, if I could do some virtual shows online, and they'd sell tickets and try and raise some funds. And it was brilliant because I've got a little studio at home that's literally just a few steps from my lounge and my kitchen. So I was doing shows in my slippers and nobody knew. And one of the charities was the Royal British Legion, and just an amazing charity that I always admired what they do, the incredible support for all the servicemen, ex-servicemen around the world. So I said, of course, I'll be happy to do a show for you. And they said, could you write us a song? And I mentioned writing under pressure. I said, yeah, I can. I said, but I'll have a think about it. And immediately I'm trying to think of how to make it funny. And I couldn't find the angle to make it. It was too much of a momentous charity and what it stood for. So I thought, well, I'll stop trying to be funny and I'll just write a song. And I ended up writing a song inspired by my granddad. It's not all about my granddad, but certainly inspired by him. So just indulge me for 3 minutes and 45 seconds to do one song that I won't try and be funny in. It's called I Wish I'd Asked Him More. He was a soldier, he went to war. Sometimes asked what he was fighting for, but he'd tell me stories and I'd sit enthralled. I wish I'd asked him more. He married true love at 18. For 3 years their love went unseen. Though battle scarred, true love endured. I wish I'd asked him more. Stories of sixpences and shillings, front doors unlocked and neighbors willing. The history you lived, the people you know. Tell me stories before you go. I know that you don't want to talk about the violence and death you saw, but your life will always be more than the blitz of Hitler's war. I've read of Christmases in trenches, football games and sharing lunches, but every lesson learned should teach us why gunfire was heard on beaches. I wish that we'd sat down before, could have asked you more. In your drawer at your bedside are the medals and ribbons, they're just beside the poppy and pin that you wear with pride for the Legion by your side. Now your great-grandchildren are here, I tell them tales of the brigadier who for victory stood and faced his fear, and the Legion he held dear. Tell me of the years you shared with Grandma as the perfect pair, devoted love and years of care, those final months when she was scared. You held her hand and let her talk, often making no sense at all, but you were there, and at nightfall you held her when she called. I wish that we'd sat down before, could have asked you more. Stories of sixpences and shillings, front doors unlocked and neighbors willing. The history you lived, the people you know. Tell me stories before you go. The childhood that you gave my mum helped her raise her only son. When my life had just begun, because of you I'd won. Now your great-grandchildren are here, I tell them tales of the brigadier who for victory stood and faced his fear, and the Legion he held dear. The jokes you'd tell when you came round, I wish I wrote that laughter down. I'd see Mum's look as if you'd done wrong, but still I laughed along. The hug she gave when you saw me cry, the wink she gave when you caught my eye. Late at night the lullabies, I never thought about goodbye. When you were older I'd rush to see you standing there beside the street, outside the shops in cold November. The words writ large, we will remember. I'd feel so proud to see you there, the smartest British Legionnaire, speaking of your lost comrades for our tomorrow they gave their today. So children, listen if you can see the slightest opportunity to sit upon your granddad's knee and listen to stories Grasp every moment that you can. I guarantee Granddad or Gran will have so many tales in store. I wish I'd asked mine more. He was a soldier, he went to war. Sometimes asked what he was fighting for. He'd tell me stories and I'd sit enthralled. I wish I'd asked him more. I wish I'd asked him more. Thank you very much.